A back and forth between a clerk and a customer here at this gas station in Southwest Detroit. It turns deadly, then the business is shut down. We'll explain coming up.
He's scared for his life. They're still out there. We have no leads, no suspects.
A Metro Detroit woman pleading for justice after her family member was assaulted and robbed outside a party store. The full story straight ahead.
You might have to pay more for the food you bring home. Details ahead.
Working for you. Fox 2 News at 5 starts now.
We begin tonight with breaking news out of Warren, where shots have been fired outside of a high school. Sky Fox over the scene at Michigan Collegiate on Ryan Road near 13 Mile. We're told there was a fight in the parking lot around 2:40 near the end of the school day.
There was an altercation between several students from this school. An individual that we have confirmed is not a student here approached the fight scene, pulled what appears to be a 9mm semi-automatic handgun from his waistband and fired approximately 6 shots.
Scary moments, but some good news here. No injuries have been reported. Police do not have a suspect description at this time. Stay with Fox 2 and fox2detroit.com for updates.
And yet another case of senseless gun violence, this time at a gas station in Detroit.
Tonight, a customer is dead and a store employee is under arrest. Fox 2's Jessica Dupnack with more on what went wrong and why the business is now shut down.
We have seen Detroit's police chief James White do this a few times in the past, shut down a business after a crime has been committed there or it's a problem spot. In this case, good reason. The gas station in Southwest Detroit has been operating without a license.
So we're going to shut them down.
Chief James White and his crew delivering news to employees here at the mobile station at Clark and Verner Highway Monday afternoon. They're operating without a license. Hours earlier, this was the scene out here, a homicide scene.
The customer allegedly was stealing items out of the store. He leaves the store, and we don't know yet if the door was locked behind him. And he tried to come back in, but we know he had exited.
That's when the clerk fired a single shot through the glass door, hitting the 25-year-old Detroit man, killing him.
At this point, it's senseless. We don't see any indication that any of this was justified in any way.
The clerk has been arrested, and the gun he allegedly used unlicensed, just like the business.
Unlicensed firearm at this point, and we're going to be tracking the firearm to see if it's used in any other crimes and how he got it.
DPD was out in numbers throughout the afternoon. Next, officers with the 4th Precinct visiting neighbors on the block.
We're going to take a look at the businesses in this whole row to see if they're also operating legally before we have an incident. If they're not, they will be shut down as well.
Again, the clerk at this mobile gas station has been arrested. Charges are pending. We will continue to follow this story. Reporting in Southwest Detroit, Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.
New information now. In another development we just learned a short time ago, the gas station was ransacked after it was shut down today. We're told the door was shot out and 2 men got in. One was wearing a ski mask. No word if the suspects were caught, but police tell us the door is now boarded up.
And in Ann Arbor, a father is shot and killed inside his own home. It happened around 10 last night on Sandalwood Circle. Police say the victim is a 24-year-old man. He was walking home when a man he knew confronted him and opened fire. The suspect then followed the victim into his home and shot him again. We're told the victim's girlfriend and his 3-year-old son were also home at the time. The suspect was arrested without incident in a nearby parking lot. A motive is unclear.
This next one, the video is so hard to watch. A man has a long road to recovery after he was body slammed outside of a Detroit party store.
He suffered broken ribs, a punctured lung, and has been unable to work. Fox 2's Camila Miri has an update from the victim's family.
A Garden City man is now home from the hospital after being thrown down on the concrete and robbed after cashing a check at a Detroit party store last week.
He has 3 broken ribs, a punctured lung, and he had internal bleeding in the lung. He's having a hard time coughing, hard time moving.
A mechanic who works across the street from the party store in Greenfield, Ahmad Al-Adani, immigrated to the U.S. from Iraq in the 1990s.
He's the main, he's the main income. He's the man of the house. He works and supports the family, So the family doesn't know what to do.
Somnada set up a GoFundMe in hopes of helping them out.
Summer is here, so they should be out on the weekend and enjoying, the water and, having family picnics and everything. And now he's going to be in bed, God knows how many weeks and months for him to recover.
If you would like to help, we'll be putting a link to the GoFundMe page on our website, fox2detroit.com.
He's scared for his life. They're still out there. We have no leads, no suspects. We don't know what's going on. The police are still investigating.
If you know anything about this crime, please call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP.
He was taken advantage of. They were watching and they took advantage, and people were out there watching. That's the worst part, when you see all these people watching. They're just minding their own business, and it happened right behind them.
In Detroit, Camila Mary, Fox 2 News.
Let's hope someone steps up.
I sure hope so. My gosh, that's terrible.
Yeah. Well, cloudy and comfortable day out there. We had all those 90-degree days, kind of uncomfortable for a lot of people, and now we finally have that more pleasant one.
Yes, it's much more pleasant. Weather Authority Rich Luderman has our first look at a pleasant forecast this week. Hi, Rich.
Comfortable. I like that, Amy and Roop. We're certainly waiting for rain. The last time we had any was back on May 20th. Nothing since, so that's 15 days now without wet weather. Let's take a look at the numbers right now. 79 for us. Warmer up around Mount Pleasant, 84. There's Grand Rapids, 84. It is cooler right near the water. Remember, the Great Lakes, pretty chilly this time of year. How about live pictures from Sault Ste. Marie? That's the Edwin Gott. That's a 1,000-footer moving through the locks right now. What a sight there. But notice the haze in the sky up there, and we have it as well. That's some of the smoke from distant Canadian fires up in Ontario and Quebec. For the rest of tonight, there is an outside chance of a stray sprinkle later on. Most of us don't get anything. We're down to 60 degrees, and this long, dry stretch continues with comfortable numbers all week. It's the second half of the upcoming weekend that brings our next best chance for some wet weather. Roop and Amy, how about a full check of the 7-day coming up in 10?
Well, as you just heard from Rich, it hasn't rained in a couple weeks, and we sure could use it for our lawns and our flowers.
Yeah, our lawn looks like hay, I'm sure, like so many of yours. But you know what? For local farmers and their crops, it's much more critical right now. Fox 2's Ingrid Kelly has more on their concerns during this dry spell.
We grow basically 400 acres of soybeans, 100 acres of corn, 50 acres of hay.
But the owner of Wilcox Farms has some concerns about his crops this season.
We are definitely dry. We need rain.
The lack of rain in parts of Michigan is causing the soil to be dry. And for farmers like Wilcox, who have already planted seeds, the concern is, can anything grow?
Concerns me is if it doesn't rain in the future, like we should see 10 days, yeah, we will start being hurting for crops. Will start hurting.
Wilcox says his corn should be okay.
Our corn was planted early, finished like the 12th of May. It was still plenty of moisture. It came up good. And corn likes hot weather.
But it's his largest crop, the 400 acres of soybeans, that Wilcox is concerned that a lack of rain could cause this to happen.
The late planted beans are not going to come up like they should evenly.
And if crops don't grow properly, farmers are concerned about a potential loss of revenue.
You have quite a lot invested into planting, say $300-400 an acre.
And for most area farmers, irrigation is not an option because of the cost, so they rely on Mother Nature.
We need rain, but just say a prayer every night, and hopefully it will rain.
And as farmers wait for that rain, they say consumers should expect to pay more for food.
Well, they definitely will. Yeah, everything is going up.
But Wilcox says he still believes things will turn around for the better.
This year is very dry, but I've seen this happen, and then I've seen it all of a sudden. We'll get the rains and things will turn around.
So you're hopeful?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
In Southfield, Ingrid Kelly, Fox 2 News.
A large wildfire in northern Michigan is now more than 90% contained. Flames broke out over the weekend, all because of a campfire on private property a few miles east of Grayling. The fire burned about 2,400 acres and forced I-75 to close for much of Saturday. 3 outbuildings were destroyed. Now, there are no reports of anybody being hurt.
And high levels of E. coli shutting down the beach at Belle. The closure was ordered by the Detroit Health Department after it started noticing heightened levels of bacteria last Thursday. Visitors can still get on the island, but are advised not to go in the water until further notice. We'll bring you an update as soon as we learn of the latest test results.
Well, Detroit Post Office is renamed in honor of civil rights icon Rosa Parks. A ceremony was held today at the post office on Grand River and 14th Street, just a few miles from where Parks lived. Now, Parks' refusal to give up her bus seat to a white man made her the face of the Montgomery bus boycott back in 1955. Before her job prospects in Alabama dried up due to her activism, she came to Detroit in 1957 and remained until her death in 2005. During her time in the city, she worked with the late Congressman John Conyers as his secretary and aide for nearly 25 years.
And this post office will now bear her name, will not only continue serving the community that she called home, but it will also carry on her legacy for generations to come.
I want children to be able to pass by and see the name and say, who was that? That is the importance of again, making sure we display not only her name, but making sure that her stories lived on over and over again. She was a beloved resident in the city of Detroit. We have absolutely adored her.
What a fitting tribute. Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib authored the bill in Congress to rename the post office last year on Rosa Parks' birthday.